Hello and welcome back again, Coffee Beans. This is Agricultural Machinery and Equipments. Definition of terms. P&Q. Packer. A secondary tillage implement for crushing soil clods and compacting the soil. Packers consist of one or two inline gangs of rollers. Roller sections may be lugged wheels or any one of various shaped ridged wheel. Packer roller. A set of solid or open-centered wheels on a common axle for clod pulverization and firming or smoothing loosened soil in the row area. Wheel sections are available in various widths, diameters and sectional profiles, such as flat, angled, V-shaped or rounded, parallel, causing two or more similar machines to perform their respective functions simultaneously. Parking brake. The system used to hold one or more brakes or braking means continuously in the applied position. Parking brake system. A means for holding a machine continuously in a parked position. Parts information. Lists and identifies all replaceable parts needed to service the product, including safety signs and optional equipment. Pascal (psi) pounds per square inch. A measure of pressure or stress. Assumed to be gauge pressure unless followed by the term absolute. Pedestrian operated machine. Machine having an integral power unit but normally operated by a pedestrian. Designed to carry out agricultural operation, and which may also be operated from a seat on an attachment or trailer. Percent nozzle spray overlap. Calculated by subtracting the nozzle spacing from the single nozzle pattern width and then dividing by the nozzle spacing and multiplying the result by 100. Performance curve. Curve which represents the interrelationship between capacity, head, power, NPSH, and efficiency of the pump. Performance standard. A limitation on the emission or discharge of a pollutant that may be expressed as an emission or discharge standard or as a requirement for specific operating procedures. Permanent set angle. The angle formed by the back of the blade in the area of the bend after removal from the die. Pickup. A device for gathering a crop from a window. Pickup header. A device for picking up a previously cut cop. Pickup width. The minimum distance including the width of the outermost conveying elements but not including the gather of flared side sheets. Piercing. The method of cold working by compression. Piston displacement. The volume of air moved or displaced by a piston when moved from BDC to TDC. Piston head. The portion of the piston above the top ring. Piston pin or wrist pin. A cylindrical alloy pin that passes through the piston bore and is used to connect the connecting rod to the piston. Pitch angle. The angle formed between an element of the pitch cone and the bevel gear axis. It is the half angle of the pitch cone. Pitch circle. The line of intersection of the pitch cylinder by a plane perpendicular to the axis of the gear. Pitch diameter. For the straight thread, this is the diameter of the imaginary cylinder whose surface passes through the thread profiles in such a way to make the widths of the thread ridge and the thread groove equal. Pitch diameter of sheave. The diameter of the sheave at the pitch width of sheave groove. Pitch pocket. An opening, extending parallel to the growth rings, that contains or has contained pitch. Pitch width. The width of the belt at its neutral zone. Pitch width of groove. That width of the sheave groove which has the same dimension as the pitch width of the belt used with this sheave. Plain GI sheet. Is widely used for roofing, gutter, flashing, ridge etc. Has a standard size of 90 cm wide by 2.4 meter long. Plain milling machine. A machine very similar in appearance and construction to the universal milling machine, differing chiefly in that it lacks the swivel table construction. Planters. Machines with multiple row seating units that are individually suspended from a main frame. Seed hopper and singulated metering for each individual row may be separately mounted on each row seating unit or centralized with seed delivery tubes to individual row units. Seating depth is principally controlled by depth control components on each seating unit. Planters, drills and air seeders. Three basic categories of row-type seeding machines that are appropriate for use in conservation tillage environments. Plant length. The length of the plant from its base at ground level to its tip when the plant is straightened. Expressed in millimeters. Plasticity is a term used to express an ability to be deformed beyond the range of elasticity without fracture, resulting in permanent change in shape. Plate shear. Machine capable of shearing metal of more than 6 mm in thickness. Plow harrow. Implement which works under the combined principles of the regular disc plow and harrow. Plunger pump. A pump which displaces fluid by means of a plunger battery polarity. Ply. Stratum or layer used in referring to the successive layers of an ear in a panel. Ply rating. The identification of a given tire with its maximum recommended load when used in a specific type service. It is an index of tire strength and does not necessarily represent the number of cord plies in the tire. Pneumatics. That branch of physics pertaining to the pressure flow of gases. Pneumatic applicator. An apparatus consisting of hopper, a metering device, and a distribution device that uses pneumatic conveyance to broadcast granules over the treatment area or to direct granules into parallel bands. Pneumatic atomizers, air atomizing nozzle. Gas liquid nozzle. Twin fluid atomizer, the class of devices wherein the movement of gas or vapor is the primary source of energy utilized to produce a spray. Pneumatic feed handling system, device for distributing feed through tubes by airflow. Port, opening in the main plenum where a trailer is connected. Portable sanders, does the same work as hand sanders. However, they remove wood and other materials much easier and faster. Portable sanders include belt sanders, disc sanders, and finishing sanders. Portable saws are useful in carpentry projects. Portable saws include the saber saw, reciprocating saw, and circular saw. The action of reciprocating and saber saw is back and forth or up and down. They are compact, portable, and useful for cutting curves on plywood, paneling, drywall, and other sheet materials. The circular saw is generally known as the power hand saw. It has a circular blade and is used exclusively for cut-off work. Positive displacement, a type of granular applicator that uses a rotating rotor to regular flow rate. Positive displacement pump, a pump that moves a fixed quantity of fluid with each stroke of rotation, such as a piston or gear pump. Pour point, the lowest temperature at which an oil will flow. Powder metallurgy, the art of producing commercial products from metallic powders by pressure. Powered blade or coulter, a toothed, flat disc blade or smooth, notched or offset coulter driven at a peripheral velocity different than ground speed. Powered hopper, a device for receiving material to be conveyed at a point near the auger rotating flighting and for conveying the material to the rotating auger flighting. Power-operated sprayers and attachments, a spraying apparatus that is transported and operated with a power source other than an individual. Power press, power-driven machine-fitted rams or dies for purposes of blanking, trimming, drawing, punching or stamping, forming or assembling materials. Power range, the total vertical movement of the hitch measured at the hitch tube and excluding any vertical adjustment in the hitch lift linkage. Power shears, include sheet metal power shears, bench metal shears, multiple X-section power shears. Generally, shearing is done with two movable blades that are made to move by maximized leverage. Power takeoff PTO shaft, external shaft usually at the rear of the tractor providing rotational power to implements and machines. Portable auger, an auger whose accessories include a suitable support system which provides mobility. Drawbar power, the product of drawbar pull and vehicle velocity in the direction of travel. Power input, the product of input torque and angular velocity of the driving axle of a traction device. Power output, the product of net traction and velocity of a traction device. Powered blade or coulter, a toothed, flat disc blade or smooth, notched, or offset coulter driven at a peripheral velocity different than ground speed. The oriental may be angled from the direction of travel to produce a greater working width. Power routers are used to cut grooves and ornamental shapes on faces and edges of wood and other soft materials. It is also useful in making various wood joints. Precision, the ability of the instrument to consistently reproduce a value of a measured quantity. Precision planter, a type of row crop planter which is designed to deposit a single seed at equal row interval. Precision tillage, subsoiling under the plant row prior to planting, usually intended for subsurface drainage. Pre-cleaner, auxiliary device of the corn mill that removes foreign material. Pre-delivery setup and or installation instructions. Outline and detail the procedures for properly preparing and or installing new equipment for delivery to the customer. Pressure, force extended per unit area. Maximum working head of a cast-in-place pipeline shall be 4.5 meters 15 feet, above the center line of the pipe. Pressure angle, angle at the point where the profile cuts the pitch circle. Pressure atomizers, hydraulic atomizer. Pressure atomizing nozzle, pressure nozzle, single fluid atomizer, the class of devices wherein pressurized liquid is the primary source of energy utilized to produce spray. Pressure chamber, component of the sprayer that evens out the fluctuations of the fluid pressure and induces more uniform flow of the sprayed liquid. Primary tillage, tillage, which constitutes the initial major soil working operation, normally designed to reduce soil strength, cover plant materials, and rearrange aggregates. Primary tillage implement, implement used for cutting, displacing and or shattering the soil to bury or mix plant materials. Pesticides, and fertilizers in the tillage layer. Prime movers, an electric motor or a gasoline, or a diesel-fed engine used to run a machine. Priming, filling up the pump with water to displace or evacuate the entrapped air through a vent and create a liquid seal inside the casing. Priming chamber, chamber attached to or built into the casing of a pump to retain water for automatic priming. Processing loss, the weight of threshed and unthreshed grain remaining in the material other than grain. After the completion of the threshing, separation, and cleaning processes expressed as a % of the grain feed rate. Progressive application, an application method where adjacent swaths are applied in alternate directions back and forth application. This method produces a right-on-right pattern overlap alternately with left-to-left overlap. Prony brake, a friction brake used for engine testing. Propelling machine, a tractor or self-propelled machine used to operate towed. Semi-mounted rotary mowers. Protected zone, soil and or plant zone purposely protected by virtue of tool design. Tool spacing or evasive tool movement. PTO output power. Power measured at the PTO shaft. Puddling, act of destroying soil structure. Usually by distributing or compacting the soil at high water content, thereby reducing porosity and permeability. Drawbar pull, the force, in the direction of travel. Produced by the vehicle at the drawbar or hitch. Drawbar pull is the preferred term. Also called draft. Pulley diameter, the outside diameter of the pulley. Pulley pitch diameter, the diameter of the pulley, which coincides with a belt pitch. Pull type or traction type. Capable of pulling various kinds of implements. Pump, device used to lift or transfer water from one source to another. Pump annex, describes a sump abutting the building manure storage and used for agitation and pumping. Storage ventilation fans may be located in the annex. Pump efficiency, NP, ratio of power output to the power input of the pump. Pumping plant or station, a complete installation of one or more pumps together with necessary appurtenances such as power units. Pumps, screens, valves, motor controls, motor protection devices, fences, and shelters. Pump stand, a structure to convey water from a pump to the inlet of a pipeline. Pump submergence, vertical distance between surfaces of the water supply and the inlet of the pump. Pyrometer, a temperature indicator used for comparing exhaust temperatures of the various cylinders. Quench, to cool heated steel or iron by thrusting it into water. Hope it helps. Thank you again for listening. Please like, subscribe and comment your suggestion on topics you want to hear. Links of previous topics are stated in the description box below. See you in the next part. Bye. Rar.